Hey guys, welcome to my channel Black Lens. If it's your first time, thanks for stopping by, and also consider subscribing, liking this video, sharing it to as many people that will find it valuable. Today we'll be talking about 5 myths. Okay, so these 5 myths are things that people think the military is, or misconceptions, or just poor judgment about what the military is, how it operates, and benefits and stuff like that. We'll take a look at this 5 myths. We'll try to debunk them as much as we can, and then we'll see, is there any truth to this myth, or is just hearsay and rumors. So the first myth, right into it, is that if you get in trouble with the law, then your only option is the military. Now this is actually not true at all. Most people that I know that have joined the military, including myself, is the way it works is, so at certain part of it, going through the recruiting process, right, you have to go under a background check, because most people in the military have some type of clearance, right? So you need to subject yourself for a background check, and sometimes this background check brings up a lot. So maybe your use of marijuana when you were in high school, or maybe some drug related issue, traffic related issue, things like that, they all pop up, right? Because things never go away. They really do come back to bite you. So these things, when they come back, sometimes you can get waivers for it, sometimes you cannot. That's just how it works. Now in certain situations, I've seen people have certain tickets dropped. So like maybe it was a minor traffic stop, maybe your registration or whatever was expired and you were driving with it. Now situations like that are pretty minor. So I think certain branches like the army will let that slide, but when it comes to the Air Force, they're a little more strict with recruiting. So these things, you can't say that just because you had problems at the civilian side, so your only option is the military. You're joining the military because you're trying to escape the things you've done in the civilian world. It doesn't work like that. When you're trying to join the military, I believe at a certain point they have an FBI agent do a one-on-one, I don't want to call it an investigation, but like a one-on-one background check where they talk to you, they ask you questions and stuff like that. So it is not true at all that if you get in trouble on the civilian side, then your get out of jail ticket is the military. No, you'll face it when you're trying to join the military too. Now the second myth is the military benefits and pay are not competitive with the civilian world. Okay, so in certain situations, yes. For example, like doctors, right? Doctors get paid a lot more on the civilian side than in the military, right? That's just how it is. Other jobs like pilots, I know pilots gets paid more on the civilian side than in the military. Certain other professions do the same, but you have to look at it this way, okay? So on the average, right, someone coming out of high school, maybe college also, right, but let's just use high school for the purpose of this video. You're coming out from high school. I don't know of many civilian places that will take someone with a high school diploma, give them a place to sleep, so you have your own room, your own dormitory, they pay your utilities for you, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, you get health insurance for free, you have your TSP set up, which is for your retirement, you have 30 days per year paid leave, so you can take up to 30 days off in a year, and you're still getting paid full time. Now if you know of any job like that gives you all these advantages solely on a high school degree, you let me know, because as far as I know, I don't know of any job that will give you all these things at, let's say, what, 18, 17, for just like that, without you having any type of experience. Most places require experience, but the military, for the most part, you don't need any experience to join, because everything goes through the training, right? Now aside all the benefits that I just mentioned, mind you, when you go through basic training, you are being fed and you are being trained. when you go through technical training, right? So for example, if you go through technical training to become a air traffic controller, now if you were doing the same thing on the civilian side, trying to become an air traffic controller, you have to pay some fees out of pocket, right? But the military is training you for free, giving you all the certifications that you need to become an air traffic controller, and that is all on the military. So at the end of the day, if you just narrow your mind down to the money you see in your account, it is easy to say that, okay, you know what, the military doesn't pay well. But when you factor in all these things, let's say you move out of the dormitory, so now you are living on your own, right? The military gives you basic allowance for housing. Basic allowance for housing is money for your rent, utilities, and stuff. They give you money, BAS, basic allowance for subsistence. That is money for food. They, depending on where you live. So, for example, if you live in higher, more expensive places like San Francisco and all these other places that are super expensive, they give you what is called cost of living allowance. So you look at all these little things, when they do add up, I think the military pays just as well as the civilian side pays. That is what I think. Because a lot of people craft this myth based just off on the money that they see in their account, right? So maybe every 2 weeks you get paid $1,000. You're like, nah, it's not much. But if you were on the civilian side getting paid $3,000 every 2 weeks, guess who is paying? You don't get extra money for rent. You don't get extra money for food. They don't adjust your cost of living. You don't get free health insurance. You don't get just your retirement set up for you. It's just a whole lot of benefits that we do not see. And mind you, with all that income that you make, right, the only taxable portion is your base pay. Your base pay is the only money that is taxed. So when, for example, when M&A, right, let me just use this example. When M&A files his taxes at the end of the year or whatever, it shows that he only made $40,000, and that $40,000 is just his base pay. You see how tricky it can get? It's just his base pay, so he's filing taxes for just his base pay. Now add in all these extra bonuses, housing allowance, and all these things, and it's reflecting $70,000 or $80,000 a year, right? But of the $80,000, he's only being taxed for $40,000. So I think that the military does pay well enough. Even if you go on the officer side, that is even better. If you get the officer side, you still get paid. But just talking about enlisted alone with a high school degree, I think that's a lot of money than you will ever make on the civilian side. That's just what I think. Now, the third myth is women have a hard time achieving success in the military. That's a lie. Reason why I say that's a lie is because 95% of the jobs in the military are open to women. A few of the jobs that are combat related are not open to women. I mean, I don't know the exact reason why they are not open to women, but I will assume that given the level of difficulty and the harsh environment and uncomfortable situations, it's just best if women don't serve in those areas. But put that 5% aside, 95% of the jobs, accounting, finance, medical jobs, personnel jobs, we have supply, logistics, all these other jobs are jobs that women can easily do. So for someone to say that, okay, it's difficult for women to succeed in this field, I think that's flat out a lie. Military training, and jobs have little relation to the civilian world. Yes, I hear this a lot, and to an extent, there is some truth in this. That is why I always say that if you are joining the military, be very careful of the job that you get yourself into, right? You want to get yourself into a job that can easily move to the civilian side, right? So for example, if you come in as an infantryman, right, I don't know of many jobs that you can do on the civilian side. That's just me. Maybe I'm ignorant. I don't have much information on that, but as far as I can tell, I don't know of many jobs unless you become like private security or run a private firm that provides some type of security for events or stuff like that. But if you do something like air traffic controller, you get your certifications and stuff in it, right? You can easily move to the civilian side. Almost all the medical jobs can transfer to the civilian side. Personnel job can transfer to the civilian side. Any type of logistic contracting is a good job. Contracting is one of the good jobs that can easily transfer to the civilian side. So I think that the skills that you get, having that they are training you for free, and most of the training that you go through is being paid for by the Air Force, and on top of that you are being paid to go through this training. Like, I don't know how much better it can get than this, but I think that most of the jobs do transfer to the civilian side if you know what you're doing. Going to the military right out of high school means you will not get college education. This is 1,000% false. Reason why I say that is there's a lot of people that have joined. I supervise a lot of people, a lot of young airmen that joined the military and they're fresh out of high school. And me being big on education, guess what? I try to put them into school as soon as they can, right? Because it is very possible to get your college degree, and for that matter, get it for free while you are still in the military. Most people on the civilian side will take out a student loan or whatever and go to school. That's fine if that's the route you want to go. But if you join the military right after high school, it's going to take you a longer time to complete your degree. But I'll much rather complete my degree in 6 years debt-free than complete it in 4 years and have debt, right? The reason why a lot of people think it's impossible to take classes while in the military is a lot of people just settle. After they join the military, they are getting paid. They're like, well, if I went to college anyways, I was going to finish college and go look for a job and get paid. Now I'm getting paid. I don't see the point in going to school. Well, thank you guys for sticking around. That has been it for today. If you like this video, if you found some depth, some truth in it, feel free to like, feel free to leave a comment. I always answer all questions that I see in the comment section. I try to help as much as I can. And also please subscribe and share the video to as many people that you think might find it helpful. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.